Did someone say WIP Parade? Okay, so that's probably not what you meant. So let's do it for real. Okay, so that probably wasn't what you had in mind for WIP Parade. I think you probably had in mind the increasingly distressing event where I pull down every single project that I have that I consider a WIP, go through all of them, realize exactly how many stitches I have, projects I have, that I not only have sable, but I actually have WIPs beyond my life expectancy. I probably never finish everything I currently have on the go. I get frustrated. I throw some of them into long-term timeout, and then I have to put them all away and try to decide what I want to do the next time that I stitch. That type of WIP parade, right? Okay, fine. I'll do it. Since I got all this stuff out anyway. But as I said, I find this usually somewhat distressing. So I can't do it without some sustenance, and I hope that you all get your beverage of choice, be it leaded or unleaded, and join us as we realize just how much I have screwed myself over. And the dogs ripped my house apart while I'm not paying attention. Maka and Charlie, come in here. Good girls. Good girl. All right, so let's see what I got on the hangers that I haven't even looked at probably since my last WIP parade. I have... Oh, this is a nice one, but it takes forever. This is the Dark Queen of the Seas. This was the Sal by Autumn Lane Stitchery many moons ago. You can see I didn't get very far with it at all. This is the called for fabric. I don't remember what it's called because this was before I started leaving the fabric names on them, but it was whatever fabric was specifically made for the Dark Queen by Under the Sea Fabrics. And you can see this is where I got all of part 1 done. And then I think I jumped to part 5 because it was still down here and I didn't feel like counting. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got done on that one. We won't even talk about the fact that I never started Dark Queen of the Earth. Next, I have from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, I have Hello Sunshine. This is done on 16 count Escape by Stitch Me. And here is where this one is. Again, one of those ones I didn't get very far on. But it had a flamingo, so I had to get it, and I had to start it. And there we are. Next up, I have a hunch this one is actually going to come out of hiding soon. This is missing a needle minder, first of all. Okay, this is by Tiny Modernist. This is Unicorn Tapestry, and this is done on the called for fabric, which is a 16 count Riviera Aqua by Vichelt. And again, I haven't gotten very far on it, but this is one that I'm probably going to get out and work on soon because I think it would make me happy. Maka and Charlie! This one, this is one of the ones I'm not in love with. But I'm actually relatively far done with it compared to some of the other ones. I have to go find my dogs because I can't hear them and that's not good. All right, they're somewhat contained. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, I'm not particularly fond of this one. This is by Bobby G Designs. It's called Life's Journey. And it's got a little quote on it. Says, "Life's journey is not to arrive safely at the grave in a well-preserved body, but rather to skid in sideways, totally worn out, screaming, 'Oh yeah, what a ride,'" or something like that. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. I'm planning to put them up in the corner, which we'll see. But so this one is, I've gotten this far. It is on a no-name white or ivory fabric, 14 count. And that's all I really have to say about that one. If anything's teetering towards long-term timeout, that's one of them. Then I have one of my black work pieces. This was the 2021 or 2022 Halloween sale from the Steady Thread. And I'm not very fast at black work, so I don't pull it out too often, but here's where it is at. And I'll let you see some of the black work up close. So I'm learning, but it's not something that I'm fast at yet, so it doesn't get a lot of love. Next up is one that will be coming up. Oh, since I forgot to mention it last year, mention it this year. We're coming up on February. So we're coming up on Valentine's Day and the week of Valentine's Day, which is on Friday this year. So the Monday through the weekend, which would, I guess, be the 15th then. I always do my hashtag Beachy Val Sal, and it's something I do in memory of my mother who passed away on Valentine's Day. I do that every year in honor of my mom, and some of her favorite things were luau's and umbrella drinks and beaches and flamingos. Oh, she loved flamingos. That is where my flamingo collection came from. This is one of them. This is High Tides and Good Vibes. This is Sue Hillis Designs, the Happy Camper series. This is done on 16 count April showers by Bestitch Me, and here is where it is at. So this one will probably get some love that week of Valentine's Day, along with some of the other beach themed stuff I've got in the pile and maybe some new starts. Next up, this is one of my many Autumn Lane stitchery projects. This is Potions and Spells, and I haven't gotten very far. You're gonna sense a theme here. I haven't gotten very far at all. A lot of these were starts for when I did Mania, or when I would do like a challenge where I was trying to fit a certain theme and I didn't really have anything, but I had something I could start. So they get a couple hundred stitches and then they kind of go into the pile of nope. So this is done on 16 count Ice Queen, and there is the very little bit of that one that I've gotten done. And we've gotten through the first hanger. Woohoo! Oh God, not the chicken. Please don't play with the chicken. The chicken is very loud. The chicken is very squeaky. Oh, this is my BAP. Oh, I'm gonna take a fortifying sip here. BAP hanger, big awesome projects. Yeah, awesome. That's the word I use when I'm thinking of these projects. The first one is Son of a Stitch. This was a sale a few years ago. It was Everything is Fine sale, the good place. And I did actually almost get the entire first month done on this one. And then I started also on the second one because borders are boring when there's other more fun things to do. But I did actually get some work done on this one. And that's all I have to say about that. This one I really want to pull out soon. I don't know why, because it is the largest project I have, the most stitches, physically the largest project I have because it's on 18 count. So it's this big. This is the Bookworm by Charting Creations. I think it's Teresa Matheson is the artist, and it's Charting Creations that charted it. And I've got this tiny little bit done, and I'm gonna have to frog a big chunk of that because it's in the wrong spot. But I kind of want to pull this out and work on it and start over. 270,000 stitches, somewhere in there. The other one I've still got on a hook is Pandemic Long Dog Samplers. And I actually said that right the first time, I think for the first time ever in my life. Hi, Charlie. Not for you. This is done on 18 count Da Vinci by Picture This Plus. It's done monochrome completely in $37.99. And I have a whopping this much done. But hey, that's more than a lot of these projects have got. There's over 1,000 stitches on there. I think over 2,000 actually. Hi, Mox. You cannot have that. Go away. Go away. Maka. Come on, over. Try not to step on too many things on your way down. How about you go down? Maka. Off. Yes, when she knows she doesn't like the command, she won't look at my hand because apparently if she doesn't see the hand signal, it doesn't count. Maka. Off. Hey, come on. Get off me. This is going to be long enough without you interrupting. No, you can't have it. Can't have it. No. You can't have champagne. You're underage. Okay. Okay. Hey, look. Off. Off. Yes, that's what I said. And now she's showing exactly how much all of those expensive training glasses paid off. Hey! Get down! Eventually I win. Eventually I win. Okay, where was I? Not helpful, ma'am. I was working on some of my big awesome project. I have one more down here that's going to go back on the hanger, so let's find it. Or not, I'll just find it when I get to it. Oh, there it is. This is Tiny Modernist Designs Zodiac Sal. I actually have some progress on this one. This is where I've finished Aquarius and Pisces, and I've done some work on the background. So when I pull this back out, I will work on another star sign. Actually, I think mine is next. So those are my big, awesome projects, BAPs. Okay, what hanger do I have next? Okay. So first up is another one of the Coven sals. This is the Vampire Camper sal, which we started earlier this fall. And it's, I believe the name of the shop is Living on the Rainbow. And she has a pattern for this lovely little vampire camper that you can stitch all the sides and then you sew it together and stuff it and make a pin cushion or a little mini pillow or whatever. And this is as far as I got on it. I'm working on the top part. So this will be the front. We'll curve around and you see it's got little fangs. Next up is, oh, this is probably not going to happen, but I'll leave it in the rotation for at least 2 more WIP parades before I give up. This is this year's Lakeside Needlecraft Halloween sal, and it was Halloween dragons. And I don't know, I just wasn't enjoying working on it. That's nothing against the pattern. The pattern looks awesome. The pattern looks beautiful. The pattern has a ton of quarter stitches. And then I went and did the whole 260 some stitches that I did manage to get in the wrong color. So yeah, we're just not going to think about it for a while. This was done on 16 count pumpkin spice from Mystic Fabrics, which I think is actually a just a fabric of the month. I don't think it's a regular website or shop. She's got her new shop is open in Rushville, Indiana. I don't think it's something she regularly carries though. Next up, let go. The only problem with storing these on the hangers is the needle minders then all stick to each other. This was a sal by Clouds Factory, I think 2021. This was There Is No Planet B. It was the I haven't even had a whole glass of champagne yet. Endangered Species sal. And this is as far as I got on this one. So I think that's all of January done or very close to done. There might be some back stitch in there. And then I'd started on a different month. I'm not going to say February. It might not be February because sometimes when these sals are done, I just work on the parts I want to work on. And this is done on Winter Blues, which was the December 2020 fabric of the month from Bee Stitch Me. Next up, this is one that I charted myself because there was no pattern from this anime that I could find anywhere. So this is Hawk and Yona. This is being done on 25 count Lugana, which is one of the reasons I don't work on it a lot because I'm discovering I don't like 25 count Lugana. More on that later. And here is all the more I've gotten started on this one. But this is significantly smaller than the dragon. This one clocks it in 140,000 stitches, so like half as much. My single oldest WIP I started this in January of 2020, and this is Cloud's Factory Grimm's Fairy Tales. And I'm actually pretty far done on this one. I don't work on it a lot because it frustrates me because it's got a lot of just, you do a handful of stitches and then you have a color change, so I don't feel like I progress very fast. But I really do need to buckle down and get this one done. Here's where I'm at with it right now, and it is done on 16 count Jade Ada from Picture This Plus. Maka! She's doing it on purpose now. This is another one I've started that, another one I've started that just takes a lot of patience, so I have to be in a particular mood to work on it. This is the Wonders of the Hubble Telescope. It was by Climbing Goat Designs. It was a sale a couple of years ago. And the color is It's a Mystery by Bestitch Me. And this is all the more I've gotten done on it so far. But they're gorgeous when they get done because she does a fantastic job with those space stitches. I did Wonders of Space a few years ago and loved it. Why do I have a big project on there? Huh. Okay. Next up, this one is by Night Spirit Studios. It is 3 of Crafts. And this is another one I need good light to work on because it is done on a dark linen. And I'm discovering that my eyes are not what they used to be. This is a 32 count linen Mothman. And there's what I got so far. This is from Stephanie Rohr's book, Self-Care Cross Stitch, that I gave away on my 500 subscriber giveaway. This is done on 32 count Helix Lugana, and it is neurotransmitters. And here's where I'm at on this one. This one I'm surprised I didn't just put into long-term timeout because I just wasn't feeling it at all. But this is the 2024 Haid Sal. I was doing Rainbow Dragons and got part of the way through the first page, so here's what I've got on this one. Do you just have to wander around and make me nervous? Because every time you go out of sight, I wonder what you're doing. And right now I look like I'm talking to my stomach. I promise there is a dog down here. And amazingly enough, it's Maka who's being trouble tonight. Usually it's Charlie. Oh, see here, she's gonna say hi again. Hi. Yeah, no. I don't need you right now. Paws on the ground right now. Okay, moving on. This one has got me frustrated, not because of working on it, but because I can't work on it because I can't find the pattern. But this is Ingleside Imaginarium's Tea Time Companion. This was from the market a few years ago when X Stitch the Rainbow, a bunch of designers got together, collaborated, and all used the same color palette to do a tea themed project. And this is one of them, and it's in the called for colors. Apparently the name of the fabric is off of it, and I have no idea what it was, but here is where I am at, and here is where it will stay until I either find the pattern or order a replacement copy. Which makes me sad because I like it and it's a fast stitch. All right, this is Northern Sunset. I have no idea the designer. I'm sure it'll end up over here in the corner somewhere at some point. I've started and stopped this one a couple of times. I don't know why. It stayed in long-term timeout for a while because I originally started stitching it on white, and then I realized it was designed for negative space, and I was either going to have to start again and stitch it on black, or I was going to have to stitch all of the black that was negative space, and I didn't want to. But here's where this one is at. And eventually it will be a beautiful northern sunset. You can see it, right? Makachine! Maka! And we go look for her again. Okay, continuing on. The pile that never ends. This is another one of my Beachy Valsal pieces, which is why it doesn't have a lot of progress on it, because I brought it out for my Beachy Valsal a couple of times and that's been about it. But this is Stitch in the Hand, Toes in the Sand by Barefoot Needle Art. It is done on 16 count frost by Stitch Me. And there is where I've gotten in the little bit of time that I've worked on it. But that will probably extend in a couple weeks. So there. One of my Beachy Valsal pieces that has gotten a lot of love, and by a lot I mean it's almost a quarter of the way done, although it's pretty large, so that's kind of impressive. This is Ink Circles 5 o'clock, and I am stitching this on Through the Stones, which is a 2021 March Fabric of the Month by Stitch Me. And there is that one. And as I said, it's almost a quarter done. I just have this little section in here to fill in. And then I can start a new page. Next, another one I love, but I might as well just call it full coverage because let's be real, it is. But this was the Avatar The Last Airbender Sal that came out a couple of years ago on Facebook. And like I said, it is literally full coverage. So I'm working on water right now. Or I was the last time I stitched it. And that's about all I got to say about that one. It's done on a, I believe the name of the Ada is linen, if that's not confusing. It's a 16 count, it's an opal. I don't know if you can see the shinies in there, but it is opalescent, so yeah. for all that it shows through. I mean, literally the only places it shows through is in the border a little bit. Okay, continuing on. Another ink circles. This one is Out There, and it's kind of a jungle themed one, and here is where this one is at. This was another one of those mania starts that then got a few hundred stitches for a challenge and magical stitches once or twice. And that's actually one of the reasons I'm not doing any stitching challenges right now, is I want to be able to just focus on a piece and not have to worry about how to make it fit a prompt. And I know you can do other things, like if you don't have anything that fits the prompt, but I just want to be able to call my own shots. And it's too easy for me to bounce from project to project to project, especially when I feel like I have to have something stitched to show, which is a lot of times why we'll go quite some time without me doing a floss tube, is because I feel like I don't have any progress to show, and it's like, oh, I'll just wait a little bit longer, and then suddenly it's been 2 months. So you may get some floss tubes where I only have progress on one WIP from now on, and I hope that's not too boring. I'm aiming for monthly, so my next one then will be the end of February. Although I may do a quick drop-in to remind people about the Beachy Val Sal, and depending on what my weekend looks like, I may actually do a stitch with me, or a Zoom stitch, or something, I don't know yet. Still thinking. But this is another Coven Sal. This is the original Coven Sal. This is Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. And I am doing this on 16 Count After the Harvest by Stitch Me. If you haven't figured out yet, I had a Stitch Me and a Mystic Fabrics Fabric of the Month. They're both on hold right now, but I'll be back to them. But that's why that's the bulk of my projects. So here's where I am at on this one. Another Halloween Sal, because that's what I do. I stitch Halloween stuff and I start Sals. This is Lakeside Needlecraft's Halloween Candlesticks. This was one of their Sals a few years ago. I actually am doing better on progress on this one. It is on an unnamed fabric by Mystic Fabrics. I think I won in Fabric Games. Either that or it was a Fabric of the Month and I just don't remember what it was called. Oh, I do! It was Bugs and Hisses. It was Bugs and Hisses. That's what this fabric was called. It is not a regular website fabric, obviously, by the fact that I couldn't remember what it was called. But this is what I've gotten done so far on this one. Another Climbing Goat Designs Sal that has gotten way less love than it deserves. And even though this one has lost its tag, I remember what fabric this is on. This is on a 16 Count Nothing by Mystic Fabrics. This is the Wonders of the Solar System Sal. And again, it was one that I literally put 100 stitches in for a prompt and promptly forgot. Pun kind of intended. This one I started for Earth Day. This is Biodiversity Matters. It is by Pixie Pixel Stitch. It is done on 32 count Ren linen by Picture This Plus. And again, I just did it Earth Day weekend, so I didn't get a whole lot in. And now you see why this depresses me, because it's like, oh, I want to work on that, I want to work on that, I want to work on that. I get about an hour to stitch a day if I'm lucky. And in fact, in the past week, I don't think I got to stitch at all. So it's frustrating. This is by Stitch Rovia. This is my favorite project that I never work on. How many times have I said this? No, I love all these projects. Obviously, I wouldn't have started them if I didn't. But this is Awesome Myth, the Narwhal. This is done on 16 count Uni-Poo by Mystic Fabrics. And that's what I've got on that one. This one is most likely going to go into long-term timeout pending a restart. And it's just because I hate the fabric that it's on. This is Wine from the Beer and Wine pattern pair by Samplers Revisited. It's done on a 32 count linen. It might even only be a 28 count linen that I tea-dyed way back on one of my very first videos. But it was a cheap Joann Fabrics fabric, and just for reference, why I don't like Joann fabrics, that should be square. So obviously their grid is off, and I think I'd like to restart it on. Also, the fabric is just awful. Like, you put your needle through it, it slides right back out. Yeah, I think I just want to restart it on fabric that I'll actually like stitching on, instead of some I made to prove a point that I could dye. This, I love this one too. My gosh, so many I need to work on. This is Sweetwater Studios, the Skeptic Sampler. It is done on a 32 count natural linen, and here's where I'm at on this one. That's everything that was on hangers. Now let's look at everything that has been hiding in nooks and crannies in my living room. Another one that I love and I don't get to work on nearly enough. This is Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's Cozy Cafe Sal. I'm doing this on 16 count Haley's Garden by Mystic Fabrics. And I've gotten much further on this one than I have on a lot of things. I've actually got 3 months fully done, except for the beading, and a good start on a different month. So, but I love the little panda on the raspberry mocha, the Earl Grey tea. It's all my drinks, because somewhere down there is the pumpkin spice latte as well. This is a new start. If you've been following me on Instagram, kind of how I'm working this year is when I have time to stitch, I pull out the Spin the Wheel app on my phone, and it's divided between like new start and work on a big project from the living room, or work on a regular size project that's in the stack you have in the living room, or go into the closet and pull out a new project. And in that case, I would swap it. So like if I work on a new BAP from the closet, I'll take one of the current BAPs and put it out there when I pull out one of those. Same thing with the regular. And for some reason, even though it's 1/9 of the wheel, New Start has come up way more than it should have. So this is one of those new starts. This is the Chance to Fly. It is from the Wicked kit that Forbidden Fiber Company did earlier this year. And here is where I'm at on this one. Oh, I guess actually I have a little bit more than that done because you can't see that it's down there. So like actively working on this one. Another one of those new starts that it came up with. Like, how many times does it come up? It's come up, new start has come up 6 times. But then, because sometimes I'll do it in the morning and then I'd find out later I don't have time to stitch. So 3 of those times I didn't actually have time to stitch when it came right down to it. You'll wait till I find you. But here's some other things that I've been working on. Oh, this was actually on a hanger. This is another hanger piece, but it shouldn't be because I love it. This is Lola Crow's Haunted Library from the Haunted Library Sal last year. And this is done on 16 count Brain Fog by Mystic Fabrics. And here is where this one is. Yeah, you can see the bottom. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that one out. Speaking of BAPs, the biggest of the BAPs that I have out, this is Deal Struck. It is no longer available, and I think that's probably good because the more I get done on this, the more I realize that it's actually not very well charted. But now I'm working on it and I've got like 27,000 stitches in on it. So here's where I'm at right now. I'm in working on the hand, some of the details on that. This has actually come up for work a lot in the last little bit. So yeah. The Walk Fast Sampler by Lindy Stitches. It's like that old Scandinavian saying, you can lead a herring to water, but you have to walk faster, he'll drown. Or he'll die. He won't drown, he's not in the water. I am doing this on 16 count All the Things by Mystic Fabrics. It is in the called for colors, fancy flosses, and I'm almost a quarter of the way done with this one as well. This is another one of my full coverage projects. This one's actually being done in tent stitch, 25 count Lugana Easy Grid. And this is Mini Tea and Books. The artist I think is Bridget Ashworth. It's charted by Hade. I'm doing this one tent stitch. I think I might have already said that. And then there's where I've gotten on this one. Actually, this one might go get hung up. One of the spaces on my wheel is for smalls, trying to encourage me to get some of these small little projects out of the way. This is for my quilt project, the Tiny Modernist Words to Live By. If you're relatively new here, I'm doing all 13 of them as separate panels, and then I'm going to get someone to quilt them for me. Put them all into a quilt. So this is, I think, 10. Life can only be looked at backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Something along those lines. Another new start. Because the wheel seems to think that all I have time for are new starts, and then I will get nothing done. This is the new Autumn Lane from the Mermaid box. I'll go ahead and pull it out to show because it's probably not visible online yet. It's the Mermaid Marina. It is being done on the fabric that came in the box, which is 28 count crystal splash linen. And the one night I worked on it, here's what I got done. This is Silver Moon Samplers Moon Glow. This is done on 16 count dapple. I want to say it's by Zweigert. And here's where I'm at. Called for colors, so some of those are fancy flosses and some of them are regular DMC. Another one of my BAPs. This is Margarita Dragon. Artwork is by Stanley Morrison, charted by Pain Free Crafts. And I am on a page that is all blacks and grays right now. Like literally, there is not a color on there that is not black and gray. It's boring. You got to do the background so they'll look cool. This is one that I actually am doing pretty well on. This is Ink Circles Fairy Ring Around the Rosy. I'm probably about half done with this because I'm going to have to do some frogging. This is done on the called for fabric, which is 16 count pearl by Mystic Fabrics. It is done in the called for silk, which is Mystic Fairy by Treenway Silks. And here's where I'm at. And the reason I say this one probably will need to be frogged is if you look at these two angels down here, the two bottom ones, they are stitched in a different direction than everything else. Normally, I would say anyone who's getting up close enough to my stitching to tell that they're stitched in two different directions deserves the treat of seeing the error. But it's going to be more obvious than that because since they are stitched in a different direction, the stripes in them are going a different direction than the entire rest of the project. So I may have to stitch that out to make that, I may have to frog that and restitch those two to make it a little bit less obvious. But progress is being made. The other thing I'm worried about is I'm running low on the silk. Something that I found hiding in a corner that I am not going to work on anymore, and I just realized I'm missing a couple of stitches, so after I show you this one I'm going to have to go grab those. But this is Lola Crow's Christmas ornaments from last year when she did the Creepy Victorian Christmas. I started the Creepy Carolers. I didn't get very far because Charlie ate the ornament that I had just finished and I was like, why am I bothering to stitch if my dog is just going to eat it? So I stopped. I have to go get a few more pieces. All right, back. That ornament made me realize, I'm like, where's the ornament I started this year? It was in a spot I forgot to clean out. Also, I noticed I don't have my knitting whips. They're all over the house. And to be honest, it's already pretty late in the evening and I have to work tomorrow and I don't feel like going looking for them. So I will do those on my February Flosstube. My knitting whips. There's only 3 of them. This is Lola Crow's Halloween ornaments from this year, the Monster Christmas. First one, Krampus, and here is where I got to with Mr. Krampus. And that's gonna go in the closet. Also had a start on McGuayan by Bella Filipina. This is done on 32 count Lugana in Devil's Claw by Stitch Me. And there's where I'm at on that one, excuse me. Got a couple of mill hills in progress. The first one is Santa Cruz. I actually started this last year and got frustrated because it was the great Charlie eating ornaments debacle. Got mad and I put everything ornament related away. So he's not very far at all. And then there's this mill hill, which I actually have gotten quite a bit further on. I'm actually finished with all the stitching on it, and I just have a little bit of back stitch and the beading to go. And this one is Holiday Flamingo. And like I said, I got all of the stitching done and part of the back stitch. So that one's moving pretty good. Now this next one, I need opinions on. There it is. This is Counting Puddles, Books Are Magic. And I made a risky call on this one, and I think it was the wrong call. I think I should have gone with something darker, but I didn't want to go too dark, and I had this piece of fabric, and I'm like, oh, it's really pretty, and it's nice and neutral, but I think it's too boring. So, and actually, I think I have the, I do. There's that. I'm actually doing it with the silk conversion that Brandy from Stitch Me did. And I am currently doing it on 16 count Boneyard by Stitch Me. And I'm just not sure if I'm feeling it. So let me know what you think before I get too much further in stitching it. Yay, nay? You worry too much? Okay, two left, woohoo! So this is Hands-On Designs, Blissfully Unaware. This is the one that I should work on most because it is the closest to being done. This is being done on 16 count Garden Party by Stitch Me. And all I have to do is the bottom border. Which I say all I have to do. I have to, the skeleton hands all the way across and then still the border. But it's getting close to done. It is one of the two projects that I pull out when the wheel lets me work on something that's currently in the living room. And the other one is this one that I love. I love it so much. I'm having fun working on it. It was a new start not too long ago though, so it's got a lot of way to go. So I'm trying to work on some other things that are closer to done. But this is Merman Cove. It is by Dirty Annie's. I am doing this on 16 count Planetary by Mystic Fabrics. And here's what I've gotten done on this one so far. and I love it. I love it. I was wrong, I have more. But wait, there's more! But wait, there's more! And I actually have one that's missing, but I'll tell you about it because it was going to be changed anyway. I have the Supernatural Sal from the Witchy Stitcher. I have the Siren done, and I'm working on the werewolf, and I'm kind of doing the frame as I go around, so that's where it's at. I'm probably going to put this one up. And I have one missing, but I'm not terribly upset about that, and let me tell you why. The one that is missing is Chromatic Dragon. It was charted by, I want to say, it's Pain-Free Crafts. And the reason I'm not too sad about it is that I am actually going to be restarting it on 18 count. I've mentioned a couple of times in here that the 25 count, my eyes just aren't up to it anymore, even with my glasses on. It's very rare that I have a good lighting. I can't tell if stitches have been crossed. So then I'll get halfway through a row and I'll realize, oh, there's one in the row above that wasn't crossed. And it's frustrating. So I'm just moving it to 18 count because it's not too utterly huge on 18 count. So yeah, there's that. So that is my WIP parade for the beginning of the year. I've got a lot going on. I think I had counted 54, and that's before I did several of these new starts. So we're pushing 60 WIPs right now. So the goal this year is to get some of them down. But remember, new start is still on the wheel so that I don't get too bored. And that's all I've got. Now comes the massive task of editing this and trying to convince the dogs. Actually, no, tonight, first bed, and then tomorrow editing. But anyway, until the next time I see you, stay safe, stay healthy. See you next time. Bye.